Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again for episode 5 of the Succession Sessions. It's me, KP.
DY.
Mikey Dimes. Mike Hill made it. We here.
Scotty Too Rare.
And we are here to talk about what we've been waiting for a long time, the Waystar Royco shareholder meeting. It was a crazy episode. You know, I didn't know which way it was going to go. I thought maybe they could lose the company. Maybe Sandy and Stewie would take over. I really didn't know which way it would go, but I'm glad we ended up where we're at with Waystar still in Roy control. How y'all feel about the episode? Just general thoughts.
Yeah, I literally had to do like research on like an annual shareholder meeting. I was like, I don't even be paying attention to these in like normal times because don't shit really be happening, and trying to understand like what the ramifications were, and like basically they're just used to like review the corporate vision, plan, the directors, and then shareholders can do direct votes on like board of directors and like people that chair the board or whatnot. So that's what, and then for this one specifically, they were like fighting over like control of the company, like who was going to be in charge of leading the company to the next vision. And they were essentially using a shareholder vote to do that, but they ended up settling. The two largest shareholders ended up settling on the side. So without their votes, all the other people that just hold regular stocks like don't amount to enough. Yeah, that's why they get set off to the side, because those two are like the major shareholders. And so if those two agree on anything, whatever they agree on will always be passed because they'll have the majority stake.
That makes sense.
But when they dissent, now you've got to bring in other, key shareholders of the company and like discuss like, okay, well, who's going to side with who? Because that'll swing. You need a majority vote, a majority rule or whatever. And so I don't know what the percentage splits are, but it must be somewhere in like, they must both own like 30 to 40% each, like somewhere in that range, to where both of them together is probably like 60 plus, 60 plus. But without them, you need a couple other shareholders to side with you in order to get, whatever you want passed at that annual meeting. So that's just a little background for the viewers on like kind of the ramifications
How
for
do you
that.
feel about the episode?
I'm saying, bro, like,
I'm sorry. I wanted to toss it up and give some fucking background to the shareholder shit, bro.
Right.
Niggas are used to watching
like
annual
30-second like
meetings.
blurb.
Y'all niggas don't own. Y'all niggas be contributing in annual shareholder meetings.
So how you feel about
that's
the show?
what I
got the gist of it.
You got the gist of it. I'm saying I just gave that background, bro. I thought it was good. It was a good ep, bro. There's a lot of twists and turns, bro. Like I thought it was a good ep, and we're gonna dive into like what I thought more specifically later.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, y'all want to talk now? Sorry, shit.
It's good, man. It was a good episode. I thought it was, obviously it's Succession. It's gonna have its ups and downs, but like the whole time, I kind of felt like we were kind of getting jerked around the whole time. Like, whoa, what I mean, from a viewer standpoint, watching a show, hey, we're getting tugged and pulled. Like, all right, we're here, we're settled. We're settled. Then all of a sudden, we're not. We got a deal. We don't. I think there's something funny going on between the Sandy and that dude in the chair. I don't know what's going on with that, but.
His name is Sandy too. His daughter's name is Sandy. Mike, I need you to get these niggas' names right because you got this shit wrong. The last two episodes you kept saying random shit. It's Sandy and Sandy. They both Sandy. Sandy is the man in the chair with a Y. Sandy with an I is the daughter.
So I said Sandy. I don't know what's going on with that. They got something going on with that. I don't know the deal, but I thought it was a good episode.
Wait, so do we think Sandy was actually talking, or
no? I don't think that nigga was talking.
Wait, hold on. Let me go first.
Yeah. I didn't want. Go ahead.
Well, for starters, this is my favorite episode this season so far. This is what I was waiting for. Yeah, I don't like the between Sandy and Sandy, But I don't think that's I mean, we get into this later, but I don't think that's them scheming. I think she just has ulterior motives, as you saw like later in the episode. But
facts.
yeah, I think she's gonna be a key player very soon. Very soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think she's aware that the Grim Reaper is knocking on her father's door. Like that nigga needs a lot of help to function. So clearly, she's next in line to grab grab the reins of his will, his estate, and whatnot. And so she kind of does a lot of the speaking for him, and is kind of starting to assert that power. And that's why the offer that Shiv presented her with, ultimately later on in the show was so enticing to her because it kind of validates her claim already.
For sure.
She's gonna have two board seats, bro.
Yeah, once I was like, yeah, that's another thing. Like, is Shiv even gonna get that board seat?
That all right, let's get this started, bro.
Let's get this started, man.
All right, so when I watched this episode, it kind of felt like a season 1 type episode where Logan's kind of out of the picture. He's not at his strongest, and everybody's just like, okay, so what the fuck do we do now? And so whenever that happens, other people are forced to make decisions because Logan is fucking out of commission. And then he gets back and he's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what'd you do that for? Like, nigga, you was fucking pissing yourself. So
that nigga was literally senile. Like, bruh. Like, and you want to get mad because niggas had to make decisions while he was gone.
Yeah, for real. Low-key, everyone who had to step up, I felt like they stepped up for everyone on the team, at least for Team Logan. Like, it was a good episode for a lot of players in the game.
That leads me to the question, the first time whenever Kendall acted on Logan's behalf and brought Stewie into the company, it turned out Logan was right. His instincts were right about Kendall being a fucking idiot. Yeah. So do we still trust Logan's instincts here, or do we feel like the right play was made because the company was saved?
Yeah. I mean, I think it kind of speaks on like how Sandy made like a slight like she took a jab at Shiv, and he was like, does that? And when Roman asked, hey, does that, are you just controlling him like a fucking meat puppet, or like is he conscious? And she's like, oh no, I only do what my dad tells me, just like you guys, and like took a jab at them basically to say like they really don't have autonomy to make decisions without their dad's buy-in, and he doesn't empower his people to make decisions. That nigga bitches at you at every wake. So people are so like, and what you saw throughout this episode is everybody's like a fucking lost sheep. They don't know where to go. They don't want to make a decision that's going to get them yelled at or upset with, and everybody's trying to look for other people to back them. Like when Shiv wants to go back and talk to them about, reopening the negotiations after they find out Logan has a UTI and he's, fucking mentally fucked up. Like, she's like, Carl, Jerry, Roman, like, are you guys going to back me on this? I was like, just do the shit. Why are you going to ask for all their shit? Oh, sorry. It was like Frank. Yeah, it was Frank. Yeah.
I mean, you still
that's
can't
part of the reason I think. Go ahead.
Go.
Oh. No, I was just saying that I think Shiv, like, she took the reins in that situation because she knew Jerry wasn't in the room. She was in a room with a bunch of yes men and Roman. Roman's the only one that's going to say anything contradictory to what she's thinking. So everybody else in the room is going to be like, she's like, oh, well, should we, whatever. Basically, she puts it on the table, like, should we go ahead and go back and try to renegotiate? And then everybody's like, well, I don't know. Well, we should. No, nobody ever speaks up and makes a decision. So she realized that I'm in a power position. If I can make a play right here and my dad finds out, this makes me look good in the end. So once it came back to Roman at the very end, she was like, yo, what do you think, Roman? He was just like, all right, like, go ahead, just go for it. Go back and talk to him. But yeah, she was in a room with a bunch of yes men. The only reason she decided to play Billy Badass was because she was the only person in there with a voice.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know you said, I think you asked like if it was like, do you think it's a good outcome for like, was it the best outcome possible? I mean, there's really nothing else they could have done, right? I think it, like that outcome with Sandy, like them, like doing the whole board seat thing is kind of just to help introduce a new element as we go into like, how many more episodes are there? Do you think?
Probably
like,
5.
How many?
You think it's only 9?
9 episode season, yeah.
Yeah, that was 9.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
like
okay.
the midway, like,
Yeah,
all
no,
right, now we got the real element in the room. We got these two board seats, and we're gonna added board seats, and we're gonna see, I guess, like, all right, these are kind of the final chessboard being kind of placed on the table. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be able to go and trust Logan's instincts when he's fucking losing his shit. And you said this reminds you of season one. He's fucking 80. You know, he's been losing his shit for a while now. That nigga needs to pick a successor, and he needs to empower his people to make decisions.
You
And
And
it's
know,
they,
like,
like you were saying, they're terrified to do anything without him because they don't want to, because he's going to come down with the hand of God, like it's wrath everywhere. So they're too scared. And the thing is, everyone, I feel like this episode is breaking their backs to make sure that they make this dude happy. Which is why, again, like, even though he's a piece of shit, even though, like, yeah, he has a UTI, is out of commission, like, he still has so much power. You know what I mean? Like, people are bending over backward just to make sure they make the right move for this dude. And he really
Roman.
doesn't deserve it.
Roman was sitting there caping for him when everybody was sitting there saying that he was old. Oh, he's we don't know if was actually on the phone in the bathroom. We don't know if he knows something we don't. Roman's sitting there like, oh well, he's 6 steps ahead of everybody. Oh, he'll put it. And then
Roman is the only one
Kim
that
was like,
had
oh,
his
yeah,
he's
back.
he's a
voodoo.
badass.
Yeah, like he was gassing the situation. But I personally think they made the smart move. But I also think I trust Logan's instinct in the fact that shouldn't have, that this wasn't a wise move for the family. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like this episode we are able to
I feel
see
like
like a lot of
Logan.
people's intentions.
yeah. Go
Like
ahead.
we were able to
I
see a
feel like
lot of people's.
Logan was mad that
Yeah.
Shiv gave up too much ground, but
Mhm.
literally they had a deal at first, and then Logan's like, "Fuck him," and then he went out of
Literally.
commission. So like they had to strike
Yeah.
another deal. So like
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know,
just
it's tough. It's
that
tough.
nigga doesn't understand compromise or whatever, and it's really like upsetting. Like, nigga, this is the same nigga that 2 episodes ago was trying to tell the FBI to fuck off when they were raiding him. Like, nigga,
Hey, low key, they
you can't
fucked
just
up.
say you can't
Hey,
just
low
say
key, they
fuck
fucked
off.
up.
Them niggas raided him. What do you mean? He had to
That's
cooperate.
it.
He was like,
That's
Jerry was like,
all
these
that's
are
gonna
the ones.
happen.
These are the ones that don't fuck off. Like, you have to cooperate. Come on, bro.
They
They'll be
came
back
in,
here.
but I said that's all that's gonna happen. I think
They'll
they're
be
good.
back here in an hour with a subpoena if you don't openly open the door for them. Like that.
I
That
know, I
nigga.
get that, but they came in, but that's it. That's all. I think it's gonna come with that.
Nah, I think there's more to come,
that's over?
especially with like
Well,
now
didn't they
the
bring up the
shift
Department
in
of Justice?
presidential power. I mean, yeah, but you know who the attorney general is and the president and whatnot, and with the president now saying he's on the way out, like that changes the whole narrative for Logan because it's like
Right, like
if
he
the
can't
next
protect him.
regime, if the next regime wants to come in and like be hard on crime, tough on billionaires or whatever, then Logan's kind of screwed because you know they can go hard on him, and you know he doesn't have that way to you know finesse like the connections that he had with the raisin. We never even know his fucking name, you know. So it's like he really can't maneuver as well because he doesn't have that access. And it's like, you know, you just gotta he's gotta.
So you think we're gonna still? You think the whole thing with cruises is still like that whole investigation that's still going?
Hell yeah! You thought that shit was just done?
I'm talking about as far as getting rated, as far as them like doing all that. I mean, yeah, I figure that's pretty much it.
Nigga, no. They were
Nothing
gathering
happened except the
evidence.
vote.
No charges. I was like, yeah, all they did was gather evidence. They still have to like charges and court dates and you know bring in and subpoena different people to appear in court. Like there's so much shit that hasn't happened with that investigation. That was literally just all that meant is an investigation is being started because they had to gather evidence. But like every other step like has not occurred yet. That's why they have like joint defense agreements and all that stuff. And it's like there's so many different steps to
Yeah, they still getting cooked.
yeah, like there I was like,
Hey,
just
they-
because they managed to keep control of the company does not mean they're like shit's sweet.
Yeah, out of the frying pan into the fire.
Exactly.
Like you got to remember, that's what I was talking about. A very short fragment of time that we're dealing with. Like this isn't there's a lot of things that still have to happen. We're packing everything into like a matter of months between, what did we say last time? It's like 5 months between uh the end of season one. What was it? Yeah, end of season one all
Yeah.
the way to where we are with the season episode 2. They didn't get
Facts,
that
facts.
far. Yeah, it's a very
Yeah,
small window of time. So yeah, they still got to go through the whole legal process.
yeah.
So let's go down the line. Our character line. Start off with Big Ken. He kind of felt like a non-factor this episode. I don't know. He did do a little bit of puppet master behind the scenes, but he was mainly just there to be kind of get shat on. A little deadbeat dad action. So what cards do we think Kendall has left to play? Is he still a factor in this at all, or is he just kind of falling to the wayside?
Somebody else want to go first? Because I'm Team Ken, so this was his worst
Go ahead, because
episode by far.
I'm gonna take down
All right.
everything that you
Well,
say.
I feel
If
like
you're Team
first of
Ken,
all, I feel like Kendall is an idiot or a
He,
terrible father. They're like, God
he's
damn,
definitely a
like,
shitty father.
like
This nigga said feed the rabbit bagels, and it's like, oh
this
fuck, now
dude,
the rabbit's sick. Like no
this,
shit, nigga.
this
And now
dude
your
is
daughter got
so
blood on her hands.
yeah.
Man.
This dude's just so ignorant. I don't know, but he made some moves. He did kind of broker that deal. And I think like he's just kind of like he's too fidgety, man. Like he needs to be like he feel like he needs to be like he needs to be seen or like he needs to be liked. You know what I mean? Or he likes
it's
being
all
liked. I
optics.
think that's the problem.
It's all
Exactly.
optics. He's an attention whore, bruh.
He is.
He's doing everything for show. He did bring Stewie to the negotiating table, so that's
He did.
one
That's what
thing
I'm
that
saying.
he did.
That's a star for Kendall. That's a star for him. He did, like I said, he did puppet master a lot of that, even though
No,
Shiv
no,
and
no, not
Roman and
Puppet
all
Master.
that.
Puppet Master is way
Shiv
too much credit. He just
and
brought him to the table.
Shiv and Roman did. They the one who actually closed the deal. Like those are the guys who actually like like put their best foot forward. But still, like I feel like he's just like panicking. He wants to be known for like being this eclectic dude. He's got some problems, and
He wants to be like a tech bro, kind of like a fucking Bezos type billionaire, like
badly.
Elon Musk type. Just like, yeah, I'm cool billionaire type, but he's not
Cool,
that.
progressive. The people, even though you're a billionaire, like the common people like you type shit. But like
So yeah,
it's just so fake, so
so
superficial
fake.
with him. It's like everything he tries to like. It's just so fake, bruh. Tom, what you want to say, man?
No, I was just gonna say, one of my favorite parts was when like maybe like the first 5 minutes or so when Stewie shows up and he's like, "Oh, like take your lanyard off, blah blah blah," and then he starts kind of trying to pitch to Stewie like his vision, but trying to do it like real nonchalant, like, "Yeah, we'll change." And this name Stewie's like, "Yeah, skip all that. Let's get down to brass tacks. What's up with the vote?" So I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, Kendall's
Nobody takes him seriously. Like he tries to come in and like yell at the family and like, oh, what are you doing? Y'all are
you're
fucking the
not welcome
deal.
here.
And they're like, you're not welcome here. Please leave. Roman's like
Right.
being the logical. Please
He's
leave. Get
doing
the
all
fuck
for
out of here.
show.
And Shiv's like, you have no right. Leave. Leave. Like nigga, all you're doing is causing problems.
And
You
let's
know?
not even speak on at the end where his dad's assistant Carrie. It's like, oh, your dad wants to meet you. I got a room.
Oh well, I wasn't even gonna say. I was gonna say before that, like when he tries to go on stage in the shareholder meeting, and he was like,
Oh,
"I
fact.
want change for the company.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
starting
what
a
that's about.
Right.
foundation and
What is that
everything."
about?
Like
What
that
is that
That's
nigga,
about?
that's
like
why
Like
again,
he gives it to the OG.
it's fake activism, and his PR team is like, "Oh, that's a good deal." Again, he doesn't let them talk. He's always talking over them, just like Tom said before. Like so, but it's all optics, bro. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go in a foundation," and Carl's just like, "Don't do this, man." And he's like, "Thanks, Carl." And just it's everything's so superficial, so fake.
Even beyond that, his
Yeah, that's
team's all optics. Like he has all these people in place that he's built up a team around him, so he looks like, oh, he's really about to do something. He doesn't let anybody do anything, and it's like, bro, you're digging your own grave at this point.
Well, he does have the idea to burn Greg, and he kind of did lay out. He laid out that
it
Idea.
like
was
That's
an
a terrible
plan.
idea.
idea.
Of course, you want to
This
see
is
Yeah.
Greg
terrible
get
idea.
burned.
Of course, you want to. All right, Mike. We'll jump some people. Let's go to Greg, man. So we got
No, wait, I'm
Greg.
not done. But I was saying I feel like he kind of explained in like when he was talking to Greg about burning him, like his plan if he had one.
All right,
Yeah,
let's go to
that's
He's
Greg.
like,
that's
you rolling him, and you rolling my dad. Then he's like, he gets down to Carl, and then they feel the pressure, and they make him step down or some shit. That's what he said, something along those lines.
yeah. He would probably have to burn Greg as his next plan of action because I don't really see like
There's no other play.
I don't see how he fits into the rest of this. I don't.
So you think he
But
would still burn Greg if Greg stayed on his side?
no, he wouldn't burn Greg if he.
Yeah.
I'm saying, do you think his plan the whole time was to?
Greg started the fire. That's fine. Like the fire is on fire now. That's all he needed was the documents to him to start the investigation. Now that they raided, they don't even need Greg's little documents no more.
Yeah, they got now that
That's
he's
what I'm
got.
saying.
They
He
need
doesn't-
Greg can
I
testify,
don't know.
and Greg can testify and whatnot. So I think there's like two. So we'll just jump to like Greg's factor in this episode and kind of what's going down with him. But like with what Kendall can do in that route is like one, he can throw Greg under the bus and be like, hey, he was complicit in all of this. He knew about it, destroyed evidence, tampered with it, whatnot. Or he can go the route of like, hey, this guy came to me, brought me this information, and like wanted to expose them. So I think that second route was if Greg had stayed on his team, he would have went like, hey, this guy is actually trying to help. Like he found out about all this stuff and like exposed it. Whereas burning him, he's just going to be like, hey, this guy, was a part of the cover up of cruises and complicit in the system that my dad's doing. So it's like Greg, yes, is a small fish in like what he's saying. Like they want to go after the people at the top, but like Greg would still probably do jail time in that scenario because like he tampered with evidence and all that.
I figured
So-
he's doing jail time either scenario. Either
No,
he was
the
with
second
Kendall
one,
or with
the
not.
second one, it would make him look as like Greg's a whistleblower. And so they protect whistleblowers.
He was just doing his job.
He'd be folded. Yeah, he'd be folded into like his immunity. He was doing his job, but he brought the evidence to someone senior in the company, i.e., Kendall, and Kendall went and exposed it. And so he would have been covered in under whistleblower immunity that DOJ would grant. So, but with Greg's scenario now joining the defense agreement, like that's all up in smoke now. He doesn't have Kendall's support. He doesn't have his grandfather's support in Ewan.
Man, that hurt.
And Ewan cut that nigga out the will. He said, I'm giving all of my shit. He's like, I'm giving all my shit to charity. And your shit was the first shit that I'm signing off to charity on top of that. So now Greg's like, fuck, I signed this deal because I wanted to be head of fucking parks. And now I'm about to lose, and Ewan's like mad. You
get locked
fucked over
up.
my lawyer
Meanwhile,
friend.
Connors is head of fucking European television.
Oh, brother.
Oh,
Man,
brother,
no,
can we stay on one topic? Damn, Mike. We just introduced Greg. Somebody say something else about Greg, man. Mike, just sit tight.
I got to
Yeah.
come.
I can bring up other
It
characters.
was a bad episode for Greg.
It was a horrible episode for Greg. That nigga got dunked on repeatedly.
But let's game it out. I mean, let's see where Greg.
Let's game it out.
He's got to go back to Kendall, right?
Yeah, I think he's got to
I
go
don't
back
know what
to
he's
Kendall.
gonna do.
If Greg comes home,
We start cutting you out when we talking about Greg, bro. You're not gonna keep shitting on bro every chance you get.
Max, man, this nigga might hate the Greg,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Loves Connor for some reason. We ain't getting into that right now. But so Greg has to go back to Kendall. I think that's his only way, and he's got to burn Tom.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, if he goes back, they burn Tom if he goes back. But I think he could work with Logan. Like the Logan, he can stay on Team Roy and with Logan. That's only if Logan wins, though. If Logan doesn't win this whole, if they, like he says, it ends up being slaps on the wrist and they pay a fine, then Greg can skate out of it. But if the real evidence is exposed and whatnot, Greg's doing jail time just like Tom is.
Damn.
My
That's a
thing
tough
with burning
decision.
Greg just doesn't make sense because Greg just knows too much. He's seen too much. He's had too many conversations. He's been in too many people's ear. It doesn't make sense to burn Greg. I know as far as the papers, that's one thing, but you burn Greg, he's gonna take everybody else down. Like if you're guaranteeing Greg jail time, he's gonna make sure other people are serving 10 times what he gets. So I don't
Oh,
see
I
that
think
happening.
Greg is a
Can't take nobody
snitch. Oh,
down,
Greg is
man.
a certified
That's what
snitch. I
I'm
feel
saying.
that.
That's what Kendall was saying. That's what Kendall was saying in his plan. It was like, if I burn you, then you roll on so and so, then he rolls on him, and it kind of goes down until they put pressure on the DOJ to get like really serious about it.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes with Greg, but not a great ep for him. He definitely lost a lot of power. So we got to see how he either repositions himself or doubles down in his decision. Who we got
He's
up
good on
next,
parts,
KT?
man.
Depending on your point of view, this person may have had a good episode or may have had a episode. But I'm rolling with the good episode for my girl Shiv Knight. You know what I'm saying? Bad episode for that skirt because that skirt was hanging on by a thread, boy. Quit playing. Quit playing.
Oh
She was
gosh,
heavy.
man, niggas was looking like this, bro.
But before I get carried away,
Pulling at the
Shiv saved
seams.
the day, right? Do we all agree that Shiv saved the company? Can we
I
agree
think
there?
she did, but she also
Yeah.
gets like an asterisk next to it because she was obviously playing her own little game at the end. So she had
It's
the
her
company's best
company.
interests at heart. Not her company yet, but she did have the company's best interests at heart. But you could tell she was like, "Oh, how can I position myself to for the final checkmate?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the company's best interest or it's the family's best interest is more right. Like she allowed the family to keep control, but she also positioned herself to take a more authoritative role, like trying to position for an extra seat and pitching it as like, oh, we're gonna bring in two younger women onto this board, to
She don't care
bring
about
new
that.
faces.
She just
Yeah,
did that
that's
to help
exactly what she's
sell it.
going for.
No,
She
I
I
think
saw
that's
she
what
did
she's
that to
going
help
for.
sell it.
She's because she sees Sandy as unlike Logan sees, the older Sandy, her dad, as their arch enemies and hate each other. She sees Sandy as someone that she could be an ally with in the future. And like I said, if those two end up agreeing on shit and they're like in charge of and they hold all the shares of the company, they can get basically anything passed through that they want because they're majority shareholders. So that's why she was positioning. I think she's playing the long game in like setting up an ally, with Sandy and trying to position herself to be in a position of power as well.
Question: what was y'all's giveaway? I don't know if you thought it right away that Shiv was trying to position herself more so than try to set the family up, set Waystar up for a win, but she's solely focused on herself. What was the moment in this episode where you were like, oh, she's just doing this for her?
I mean, it's not solely for herself.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
in
trying
a
to make
way-
sure the
but-
family keeps
In a way,
control.
but
It was when
she's
she
also
offered
trying to
those seats.
position herself.
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
what was
you
the
can
move
try
that
to
made you
like
think
play
that it was
your own
for her?
game. Oh, whenever she asked for the board seat or mentioned it.
Yeah, when she did the board seat, that was when she was like, "Hold up." She was like, "I can game this." She was like, "Hold up, okay, I'll give Sandy a fourth seat, but we're gonna need an extra seat, and maybe I can, for me
I
too." And
I low
that
key
was it right there.
I low key think she started planning this. It was like kind of like a slight moment in the episode. Is like when Jerry went out of the room to talk to Logan. I think I can't
Yep.
remember who she was talking to.
Actually,
But Shiv was like, what is she doing? And Roman was like, why are you asking me? Because I feel like she knows something's going on. But at that point, she's like, all right, Jerry's trying to set herself up to, take some more power in the company. So when she saw that, she's like, if I can just get them one-on-one, of course I'm going to put Waystar's, I'm going to put their interests first, but I'm also going to just sprinkle a little bit of Shiv on top of that. You know what I mean?
Sprinkle a little
Yeah.
shit on.
All right, so
I think
I could very easily be going conspiracy theorist in this situation, but I think
Get your tinfoil.
this was a very good episode. Shiv versus Jerry, because the giveaway for me was when after, and we're gonna just to make sure we're on the same page. Carl and Jerry were the only two that were gonna take the original deal. Shiv and Roman said that they didn't want to take it. Okay.
Yeah, because they
So
would get veto. They could stay. They wanted veto power of a Roy to step in as the next CEO. So of course, Carl and Jerry are okay with that because they're not a fucking Roy. So
yeah, but the giveaway for me was when Shiv called and was basically telling like, "Oh yeah, it's a done deal. I worked it out. Like I did this, I did that." And Jerry's in the background looking at her like, "You literally didn't do anything." And then when Shiv walks out, she's like, "Well, he's my dad, so I had to like tell him." And then like walks out, and Jerry's like,
yeah,
"Noted." So then
So
from that
even
point
sooner
forward,
than
that's when
that,
Jerry was
yeah,
like, "All right, now I'm gonna start gaming this my way." And then Shiv, that's just like you said, Mike.
yeah,
Shiv
you're
noticed,
right.
yeah, it just went. They all. It's just those little things, bro. I don't know. I
I
couldn't
yeah.
even
noticed
No,
that
be
when
I
reaching.
Shiv
think that's a
watched her. I was like,
conspiracy
"What's
theory.
going
I
That was
think
on
my
that
here?"
makes
interpretation.
sense.
That was my interpretation. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like that was a good moment because I do remember on like my second watch, like keying in on that. That was a very like fleeting thing where she was on the phone. So when came back, like everybody was congratulating Shiv first for a job well done. Because she was like, "All right, I did this," even though
I did the
Jerry,
deal.
led that conversation when all three of them were present.
Yeah,
So Shiv's wheeling and dealing all episode. She's like on her trade
girl up.
deadline type shit,
Like it. I like
and
it.
she ultimately saves the company. And Logan wakes up from his fucking piss mad King of England fever dream, and he's like, wait, what the fuck?" And Shiv's like, "Come on, let's celebrate." And he's like, fuck off. And you got to think this is like maybe the second or third time Logan has just like played in Shiv's face like this after she does something or after like he tells her something like, "Oh, it's
And she
time to
does
step
it.
up," whoop, whoop, and she's ready, and Logan's just like, fuck you." So you got to think the next time if she has any respect left for herself, the next time Logan does that has to be the last time, right?
Yes, and the fact that
Nah,
he slimed her for Jerry. He was like, "I'm talking to Jerry. Get out of here." You don't think she felt
Yeah,
the type of way about that too? Like Jerry is the interim CEO, and you're sitting here chopping game with her, and you told me on several occasions that I'm next up, and you shit on me
yeah,
every chance you get. Like, yeah, she can't let that happen the fourth time, bro.
I mean it's hard to say. Logan's an asshole. That's kind of part of his character
right.
trait. So I definitely see that shit happening again. And she did her best to try to stand up to him, but he's still like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want."
I, I
She
think
makes a
she
snide comment like, "Oh, he's feeling better now, everybody. Thanks, thanks." I was like, to try to laugh it off or whatever, because he's back to his, being an asshole ways and you're not being senile. But it'll probably
Hey,
happen
man,
again.
I feel like she's dangerously close to going full Kindle, and you never want to go full Kindle.
No, man. Nah, she ain't that close, man. She
I
Yeah.
definitely
don't
get
know,
yelled
bro.
at again, and she gonna
Oh
take
man,
it. She gonna take it because she wants to, be part of the company, man.
Tom's trying to have a baby, man. She's out here.
He's shitting on her husband, bro.
That's
Tell him
that
another
is
bad
so
episode.
that is an interesting thing that I want to discuss. This nigga Tom, terrified of jail time, he's like, "All right, well, let's make sure Shiv stays committed because this bitch wants an open relationship. So I'm just about to put a kid in her right before I go to jail." Niggas out here tracking her fucking period on his calendar to know when she's most, in her words, breedable or
Do y'all
whatever.
think
Like
it's
that shit
weird?
is
Yeah,
hilarious.
don't say that out loud, man.
It's weird.
I don't
That's
think
That's
I don't
regular
think
weird.
it's
thing.
weird.
I
I thought
mean,
that
the
was a
only
regular
people
thing.
that do that are people that are like struggling with fertility issues.
If they
And
both know,
Or if they're
like,
Maybe
trying to
like
have a
yeah,
kid.
if they're yeah, it's like people that are trying to have a kid.
they
It's
ain't
it's
trying, I
weird
don't
that
think.
Tom's doing it on his own, like without her. It's like, and also I'm trying to understand how old is Shiv supposed to be? If Kendall's 39,
35.
She's probably like 35, yeah,
Mid
yeah,
30s.
so
36.
I mean, it is. He probably does need to track that because that's when it starts
About
to get a
that
little dicey
time.
for women to have kids or whatever. And she's
I
like,
don't
the
know, man.
timing's not right. Like after 35 for women, I think bro. I was talking to somebody, like a couple, one of my girl's coworkers, and he was like, his wife had a kid like in the mid 30s, and they called it a geriatric pregnancy. And I just started busting out laughing. I was like, "That's rude as fuck, bro."
Yeah,
You
I
like
was
that
like,
word
"You
rude,
call that?"
okay?
Yeah, I mean, I just laughed and I said, I was like, that doctor's rude as fuck.
Laughed at his
I was
face.
like, yeah,
No, you
that shit
fell
was
for
funny.
laughing at bro.
That shit was funny, bro. I was like, damn, they called your wife old as shit. Like, bro, in your mid-30s, you're geriatric? I said, shit,
That is
damn. But I mean, he might need to track it if he's serious about having one. It is weird, bro. It
This
is
is this a
weird.
desperation, baby.
It's a desperation, baby. He trying to make sure Shiv don't go nowhere while he's locked down because she don't seem like a ride or die. I'm gonna tell you that.
Hey, them desperation babies, man. That shit never works out. I would know, but yeah. So Tom, Worms Gams.
That's it. There's nothing else on top, man. Let's just go to Roman.
He
I was like, there's nothing else on top.
didn't even do anything. Let's keep it pushing. All right, so let's go to Logan.
No, Roman.
All right, we saving Logan. All right, let's go to
No,
Roman.
we did Logan.
Did we?
Yes, we did him twice.
Hey, yo. All right, Roman it is. All right. So, Roman, he's a little frazzled. He doesn't like seeing his dad like this. As Logan said, I love my daddy. That's Roman. That's Roman. So he's a little bit scatterbrained throughout the episode, but he has a very important. Well, not really important. Well, I guess it was. Well, it was a very one-sided conversation with the president, the raisin.
Exactly, conversation.
So, what do we think about what Roman did this episode? How he positioned himself. You think maybe he's showing some flashes of that potential that he thinks he has, or no?
Well, I'll tell you what, Jerry's definitely setting him up to show it because didn't she meet him? She mentioned him in her speech to the board members, and then it was like recommended him,
visionary,
right?
COO.
And then recommended him to be the one to talk to the president. Although that conversation, in hindsight, really didn't matter because he just pretty much said that he's quitting. So, but no, Roman, he getting his chance. He definitely needs to keep. He needs to keep on Jerry's hip because I feel like she's gonna take care of him, or at least try to. At least they're definitely gonna take care of each other. It looks like.
I feel like Rome needs somebody to push him, and that's what Jerry does because he's never going to be the one to step up himself. He's going to need somebody. He just seems like the type that needs somebody to give him that extra confidence boost. Otherwise, he just gets into those moments where he just starts spouting off, calling his brother Putin. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that. So if he has somebody there to push him and keep him focused, I feel like he has a chance. But I don't think this episode helped or hurt him.
Yeah, Roman has a lot of one-liners that don't hit.
Oh no, that hit.
I mean, the Putin one hit. That was a pretty good one.
I was like that. He also has a lot of stupid ones.
Niggas don't like Roman.
I like Roman. I thought that was a good one-liner. I think most of his one-liners are funny. I just think it's that nigga is a one pump chump at a lot of times, bro. Like he's good for like one idea, and then it's like that's kind of it for a while. So I mean, it's like I think it's a good thing that he was the one to talk to the president. Like it's a good signal from because Carolina was like, no, Jerry needs to do it, and Jerry was like, no, let Roman do this. They like him. He's a personable guy. Because Roman is like a likable guy. Like most people like him when he hangs out with them. So he at least has that going for him. He does like have his dad's tendencies and like saying fuck you to like everyone. So he's kind of got like that badass tinge to him. But I think there's just more maturation that needs to happen, but it's a good sign. And Jerry's steering him in the right direction.
I think when it comes to being like the most like Logan, Roman has the charisma and he's personable like Logan. He knows how to talk to people and like sway them and stuff. But Shiv has the killer instinct. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of duke it out for pole position. Because let's be real, Kendall's out of it, man. Kendall's not coming back.
That nigga's he's just such a fraud. Let's talk about the lesser. Hey man,
Let's talk
let's
about
just talk
my
about the
favorite
lesser
character.
known. Yeah, the lesser known or lesser talked about Roy.
So, do we think Connor is legit going to be the head of European cable, or was that just like
I
is
was
that
so on my
Before
second rewatch, I was trying to see when like he actually started going like was out of it. I think he was pretty coherent. Then he went to the bathroom to the side. So I don't know. We're gonna see about that. But hey, he is making moves. Connor is making moves, and he's not getting written out of the will at least. So
oh gosh, this nigga
Me too.
always had to
Sick,
throw
bro.
shots.
Sick to my fucking stomach.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I mean, what do y'all think? I think Logan is gonna be like he's gonna consider it. I think at least.
He's
I don't think he's
not
gonna like
giving
fuck
him
off.
European cable. That was a decision that he made. He didn't even really agree to it. I just think Logan,
he
was
didn't say
kind of out of his mind. He didn't have the wherewithal to like really argue with Connor at that time because he was like starting to get confused and whatnot in that moment. So he was just like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Connor has bigger dreams and aspirations. Connor has always wanted to run for office, and that man wanted to talk to the raisin. Like if you on my second watch,
that.
I noticed every time he was like, "I'll talk to him. I'd love to tell him
Mm-hmm.
to you fuck off."
Hey, he's trying to
Like
step up,
Connor,
man.
Connor,
He's trying to
Connor
step
does
up. He's
not.
trying to show his ambition.
Yeah, Connor doesn't
Connor
want to
will,
be a
man.
part of the company. He just wanted it as a stepping stool to his next thing. His aspiration is commander in chief. And I think that's what's going to be interesting because if you watch the preview to next episode, they're having a big gala and they're inviting a ton of political pundits
That
and
shit looks
people
lit.
and they're saying like,
Hey,
hey, we're picking the next president because the media, is a big
that's what I'm
sway
saying. You're trying
in
to say
pulling them.
Connor
And Connor's
is out
like,
of the realm
I
of being
want it.
president. Out of everything we see, you think Connor's out of the realm of being president? That's all I'm saying, man. He's the figurehead,
Oh, I don't think
and,
he's.
and
Yeah, I mean
and
that's what he's got
it was
going for
proven
him.
that ATN was the person who got the last president elected. If he wins the primaries for the Republican Party, who's to say that ATN can't get Connor elected?
You've got a point, and they would
That's
like
all
that.
I'm saying,
They
man.
would like to have the control, like in terms of access.
Conn's face.
Connor, in terms of access, Connor is literally a part of the family, so they know they could, kind of control and sway Connor to do things that would benefit them. Like if
Exactly.
Connor gets the presidency, this
All right,
investigation really
man.
does end.
Let me regain control of this. Niggas
Because
is wilding right now.
you guys realize, you're like, damn, this nigga making facts.
Niggas is wilding right now.
literally
Talking
the
about
exact
Connor for
opposite.
president, man. If Connor becomes
Literally the
president,
exact. We
going
just
from a
wasted valuable time.
non-IMDb.
We just wasted
You said
valuable
what?
time talking about Connor Roy being the
Hey,
president of the United States, bro. Like, I can't even believe. Please change the topic. I'm begging you. Anything. We can
all
talk
right,
about more.
man.
Hey,
All right, man.
man.
Real quick, man. Before the fourth quarter, man. I need an MVP of the episode. I need your LVP of the episode, and your power rankings 1 through 5. I'll go first. MVP.
Let's
Gotta
spitfire
go.
it too. Just give the names, no description, man.
Damn.
Rapid
Man.
fire.
MVP. I gotta go
Just
Shiv.
keep it short. Keep it short.
Yeah. I gotta go Shiv, man. She saved the company, and she was wearing that skirt. LVP. LVP. I gotta go Logan, man, because when the world needed him most, he vanished.
He was in the stall
Sorry.
getting called Papa
Sorry.
by Tom.
Bruh, I think he thought that was like Connor or Kendall. Like in his I know he didn't think that shit was Tom.
Yeah.
Just aside.
All right, so power rankings. Number 1, still Shiv. Number 2, let's go Romy the homie. Number 3, Jerry. Number 4, damn, all these niggas ass.
That's what I was saying. Just the rest.
Hey, all right, number 4. All right, I guess since we got some new people in the company, we can stretch the rules a little bit. I'm going Sandy with an I at number 4. First impression. And then number 5, just by default, man. Let's go Ken, man. Fuck it.
Hey, I got a lot of similarities with your list, KP. So I'll go like with that, with that top five. I was like, I like Shiv at one, I like Roman at two, I like Jerry at three. Sandy's a good sleeper to have, and then I'll put, um, I'll just put like, um, I guess we can put Logan at five. I'll put Logan at five for struggling there. I mean, he's still Logan, but he was falling. My only difference is I do have Shiv as MVP of the episode, but LVP of the episode I put Greg because that nigga lost in every that nigga just got dunked on and dunked on and dunked on. So that
I
nigga
just didn't
really
want to
did.
give Mike that satisfaction.
Yeah, I didn't. I know it's hard to give Mike that satisfaction, but that nigga got cut out the will and said he was about to go to jail. So, like that
He's
shit.
definitely going to jail, and he's gonna be poor.
And Shorty wasn't rocking with him when he pulled up to talk to Kendall.
Bruh, yeah, he was like, he really was. He was like, oh, you're here. She's like, yeah, I'm doing my job. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, bye. And she's like, oh, bye. Like, why the fuck are you talking to me?
Hey,
That
chill.
is true.
Greg
Niggas
gonna
getting
beat,
turned.
man. Greg gonna beat.
He might.
Yeah,
I think so.
man.
I think so.
You're really scrambling, man. Y'all scrambling to save him. All right,
If he get put back in that will, he got better chance.
yeah, he ain't getting put back. Ewan ain't one to make jokes like that, I don't think, man. But I guess I'll go next. I guess for my top five, I had Shiv, obviously, and the MVP. She showed out today, and it is Shiv. I mean, after that, I put Jerry and Roman together. Like I had them at number two. For number three, I put the Team Sandy because I feel like they are just they're getting a Borisy. They were able to settle like 2 or 3 times on a deal, technically on their terms. I feel like towards the end, so they real power move by them. Number 4, I still got to put Logan, even though he was being a wannabe Tywin Lannister, man. Hey, the team rallied around just for him. Every decision they made was to ensure that he would be happy and that they didn't slight him anyway. So he still, holds weight. And then lastly, I just had probably rounded out with Kendall. I really know why I put Kendall in there, but it's just like, I mean, he's still part of the family. He's never gonna, win anything, but he's just there. And obviously, least valuable player, Greg the Egg, your boy. Oh man, what an episode! Connor has never had an episode that
Oh
bad.
gosh, because
Connor's
never been
an
important.
honorable mention to the con man. Big honorable mention because man, he's head of European TV. He's gonna be running for president.
Hey, Mike, you voting for Connor? You voting for Connor, Mike?
Yes,
what are you guys getting this year?
You voting for Connor, Mike? Say it. Let the world know. God. You voting for Con, who literally has an escort as a girlfriend?
Am I voting for this fictitious person in this fictitious world?
All right, niggas, put that topic there, please. Are you voting for Con? Yes or no?
This is the dumbest fucking question I've ever heard.
All right, niggas wriggling
out of your mouth when you said, "Is Conor being the president around there the wildest thing to happen?" Yes, nigga, that is the wildest thing that could possibly happen on the show by far.
Hey, man, you acting like it's not possible.
It's literally not.
I just outlined how it was earlier, how it could be earlier.
All right,
man, say your list, man.
MVP, LVP, top 5.
You got this Maggie.
Right,
Greg really down bad. Y'all feeling that?
All right, so I'm gonna start from the bottom because I'm genuinely upset about this. So I'm gonna put Kendall at dead last. Kendall's my 5. He's a shell of a man. We're gonna give him LVP too because he's a shell of himself, skeleton of a man. I don't know what that was. He showed up on stage trying to pander to the people, telling them that he was gonna shout out the victims' names, then decide at a shareholders meeting, nonetheless, and then decides, you know what? I'm also gonna tell everyone out of nowhere, out of left field, that I'm gonna go ahead and start a foundation for assault victims.
He definitely made that up on the spot.
On the spot. Greg, number 4, cooked. I mean, we've already been through that. I don't need to elaborate. I got Sandy, the daughter, number 3. I think another part that we didn't really touch on is the fact that essentially Shiv's asking her to lie to her dad when she was like, "Oh, do you think that he's gonna buy the fact that no Roy is gonna be the next CEO?" And she was like, "I don't care. I mean, I don't care if you believe it. I just care that he believes it." So the fact that Sandy got back on the phone and told Shiv that it's a deal, I'm gonna assume that she lied to Pop. So if she can get,
That is
if
a
she's
meat
already on Shiv's
puppet.
good side, I think that's a plus for her. Put her on 3. I got Jerry at 2 because I got a real shot caller next to Jerry because she kind of got started stirring the pot. But I got to give MVP and number 1 slot to Shiv. Yeah, for the same reason we already
Shiv,
elaborated.
Shiv Knight. You heard it here first, folks.
Quit
That's a full
playing with
that's a
her.
full sweep for Shiv.
Come
Full
on,
sweep.
man. She went out. They said she went outside last episode. So come on, we bounced back like rubber bands, baby.
Tens
But
across
yeah,
the
man.
board.
Hey man, I just hope Greg recovers, man.
No, you don't.
No,
You don't?
don't.
I do.
Why
I
you
got
You're
no.
such a hater.
All right, let's
You're
clear this up on the
such a hater,
podcast. Let's
bro.
clear this up on the podcast. I have no issue with Greg. Not one thing. My
Oh,
issue
brother.
is that you guys think that he's some amazing tactician that can maneuver his way. Like no one's moving like Greg. No one's doing this. Greg
Nobody's ever
is a
said that.
mediocre. I'm not done. Greg is a mediocre dude. It's nothing special about him, which I don't know why y'all hype him up. So since y'all are hyping up a mediocre character, let me hype up another mediocre character who is his antithesis.
Right.
That's all it is, people.
Nobody,
You heard it here.
nobody
First of
said
all-
that nigga was a tactician. We just said he got the papers, bruh.
First of all,
Oh, no one would
Greg-
have done that. No one would have thought of
Greg
that.
is a normal ass dude, bro. He's just like us, except for he is all of a sudden in this billionaire world, bro. All of a sudden, that shit is different, bro.
That's what Ewan was trying to get him to was talking to him about. He was like, essentially what he was saying, I think, in that meeting he had with Ewan was the fact that Greg's out of his depth in this situation. Like, yeah, you come from like down the line, you have a wealthy family, but like you're not built for this. You need to take this serious, go somewhere else, get you a real job, go do something to make yourself happy because you're not built for this kind of life.
Yeah,
it
maybe
was
not,
good
man.
advice. Shit was
I'm
good
built for that
advice.
check, nigga. I'm built for that check. Fuck you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
I'll leave, but you're going to
Again,
sign on Fortune of the Wheel.
so in summation, son, you're an idiot. Grow up.
Damn.
Nigga, give me 200 mil. But anyway,
You would have had it. You'd have quit. No, but Greg, gotta be hard headed.
man,
At least kind of know where the bag is.
Grandpa, you.
Kind of know where the bag. Man, whatever, man.
Nigga, Connor just asked for 100 mil, nigga, 3 weeks ago.
Except his dad gave it to him.
Man, no, he did it. That's why he's
Oh,
trying to get a job.
That's what he's trying to get a job.
No, that's not why he's trying to get a job. But I see what you're saying. That's not why. But I see what you're saying.
We finna wrap it up, man. You know, until next week. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys, man. Insert witty quote from the show here. I'm KP.
DY.
Mike Hill made it.
Until next time, until next week, same time, another episode. We out. Peace.